Was he back? Is he practicing again this week?
Yeah, he was running around out there. Obviously player safety always comes first, and to be honest, he wanted to play, he wanted to go, and coach and the docs and all that said, hey man, like let's not do that. You know what I mean? So long term wise, let's not do that. So, but he was out there running around, so he was energetic.
When you don't have a guy like that, what's it mean?
It means somebody's got to step up. You know what I mean? You gotta be able to trust guys and put them out there, and we did. And those guys went out there and made some plays, and we gave up some plays. But that's going to happen in football. So it was a good learning experience. But anytime you don't have a veteran, especially corner in this defense, then it hurts you a little bit.
And when you look at Wisconsin, how much has their identity changed just year over year when you kind of study who they are, what they are now?
Yeah, I mean, I think they still rush for 154 yards, and I know that's with some injuries in the backfield, you know what I mean? So I can't say, what they would still be if they'd be at 175 or 200 yards rushing, you know what I mean, with the full complement back there. So, but they can still run the ball. Their line they got a veteran line. You watch them on film and they're really good. You know what I mean? And again, they were missing their quarterback for a little bit. So, I mean, they want to play physical football, and how they move the ball just might be a little different, but they still, it always starts up front, and they got a good line. And like I said, when those guys are healthy and they're running the ball, like they're running the ball on everybody. So we got to respect that.
You guys got hit with the pass interference that was obviously consequential on the last drive. What did you make of going two games before that without any defensive penalties period?
Well, I had no idea, but that's a credit to the guys. One, overall, just making sure that means that they're playing with the right technique and all that stuff. And again, you talk about out on the edges. A lot of times you don't see the stuff in the interior because there's just a big mush of bodies in there. But anytime you're talking about the perimeter, you can see it. You can see it clear as day, and the technique just got away from him a little bit. He started to play it right, started to see the ball, and then at the last second, he turned back into the guy to play a man. And if he had just, still continued with the zone technique, I think he probably picks the ball up, and it's a different story. But those things happen, You trust him to be out there. He's made plenty of plays, so, that stuff happens.
Did you didn't like the level of aggression against Michigan State? You didn't like your level of aggression against Michigan State. Was it better against Maryland?
The young men, I think from the moment after the last game, Michigan State game, they came in there and they had the right attitude. And it always starts with attitude, and they wanted to fix it. And it was one of those games where I told them before kickoff, I was like, I can get a vibe of the guys, and I felt like it was kind of like Illinois, where I'm like, you guys are gonna make it right today, and they did. They played their butts off. You know what I mean? So you gotta respect that. Those guys put themselves in a position to know what to do and to know how to do it, but then their mind was right. Their attitude was right, which is the most important thing. And it was fun watching them play. Like those kind of games, you just sit back and you just watch them play and you're in awe. Some of those plays were, Javen coming off of a block and then jumping on the guy, and as he's falling down to rip the ball out, that's unreal. Omar Brown is getting blocked. He arms over on the block, and then as he's tackling the guy, he sees the ball and then he rips out the ball. Like those are some big time plays, man. You know what I mean? So I kind of felt it. The coaching staff kind of felt it pre kickoff, and again they went out there and we just had to make one or two more plays.
Coach, when you have a guy on staff that has previously coached on the same offense as Tanner Mordecai at Josh Martin at SMU, what kind of role does he have with this whole week?
Oh, we got all the info on the guy, man. We got, his girlfriend's birthday and all that stuff. We got all that info. But no, he's same thing you see on film. Respects his game. Really mobile quarterback. Very similar to the last couple guys we faced. That can run the ball on you, but they run around back there to extend the play and get the ball downfield. Good athletes. They can make all the throws. So it's kind of interesting that you're seeing us play the same kind of quarterback like that. So. But we got to be ready for him. He's talented.
What's been the key to Omar solidifying himself this year? He's been the guy who's stayed healthy for one.
Yeah.
What's helped him out?
I think you said it. The one, staying healthy. Two, he's always been a playmaker. I mean, when he transferred in here, he did. I mean, he had 8 or 9 picks from Northern Iowa, I believe it was. You know, he's always been a playmaker, but those skills don't get a chance to shine if you don't put yourself in the right positions, right? That means you do things right on and off the field. You know what to do, you know how to do it. You take the technique and the teaching and stuff, and then you give yourself a chance to go out there and make plays that you can make, you know. And he's a great example of that. So he don't play last year, and then, you know, injuries and all this stuff on and off. And then every single time he gets his feet back on the ground and he's consistent about doing things right and playing, you see Omar show up. You see that playmaker in the run and pass game that everybody knows he can be, you know what I mean? So now for him, it's just a matter of consistency, right? To always be the guy that he knows he can be, so.
What's been your thoughts on this team's ability to get up after a tough setback like Saturday?
Yeah, there are no tough setbacks. I mean, we just say those are chances we get to play. I mean, when that ball's kicked off, you got 60 minutes to go play, right? So they work all year and they work all week. They take all these reps during the week. They get hit and all this stuff, you know, lift all these weights. They got 50, 60, 70 plays in the game that they're going to get a chance to play, right? Of those 50, 60, 70 plays, we rotate guys. So you're talking about 35 to 40 chances you get to go out there and lay it on the line. So the defense plays their best ball when they get a chance to go play, you know, and the cool thing is when you watch them run out of there, when those things happen, it's just like we said, hey, we get to go play. You know what I mean? And that's the neat thing about it. That's the attitude we're talking about. It's like, it does not matter. You know what I mean? It does not matter. We get a chance to go play ball. Let's go play ball.
How well has this team stayed together through adversity relative to other teams that you've seen or been on through the years?
I mean, again, I think that's the master plan with Coach. You know what I mean? Like all those, you never see it then, but over time you always see the genius come out. You know what I mean? And all the off season, all the time spent with them, all the interaction, all the chemistry building, all the us, like we're here, we're eye to eye. You know what I mean? And it's showing up in the adverse times, right? Because if you didn't have all that, if you don't have those relationships, if you haven't been through the fire with those guys in the off season, then when the adversity hits, it's me versus you instead of us. You know what I mean? Us figuring things out. So I think those are the times you get a chance to see, right, the words come to action. And that goes back to credit to everybody in the program in the off season, building those relationships. So that way now those things happen. And it's like, okay, let's go. Let's figure it out. So
with the run defense, how important has Gifford been in terms of, you know, stepping up and quickly filling some of those gaps?
Yeah, I mean, he's the rover for a reason, right? That's that hybrid guy, and we expect him to. You know, he's plenty athletic enough. He's tough enough. He's athletic enough. You know, again, when he gets a chance to go down in the box, that's kind of cool to see him run around and act like a linebacker in there. You know, but that's a credit to everybody. You know, everybody up front. Really buying into understanding, like, hey, we don't want people to run the ball on us. Like, that's plain and simple. Like, we don't want you to run the ball on us, you know? And it's the attitude. So all those guys up front, you know, and then when it's their time to make a play, they make a play. So, and Giff has been one of those guys.
You know, your system not only have
Our system.
our system.
Thank you.
Your system. Not only have a lot of your players have not played in a 3-3-5 before, but it's something that, like, just in general, Nebraska defenses have played in. Did you anticipate having this much success implementing this unique style of football?
You know what? You have a standard that you play with, right? And then as you go and as you see where guys are, then you kind of adjust, right? That's what good staffs do. They figure out where to put guys, what kind of calls to make, what to kick out, what we can't do well, so we don't call it, you know. And I think it's just a total. Any success goes to the number one, the players, you know, believing in what we're doing and really putting the art on the grass, you know. And then the two is the assistant coaches all coming together and meshing the ideas, right? And you know, that's why I said it's our defense. Like that's one things that Coach Rule was awesome about, was like, hey, this is the Nebraska defense, you know what I mean? And this is a group of guys coming together, a group of professionals coming together and saying, hey, we do this well, we don't do this well, let's try this. And then in the end, you see those guys out there running around making plays, and it truly is the Nebraska defense, you know. So I really take pride in saying our defense, the Nebraska defense, you know. So.
Ask you about Ty Robinson. What's it been like coaching him? he's been through a few different defenses in his career. Has he grown up a little bit? Or not grown up, but has he sort of blossomed this year, you think?
Yeah, no, that's a great question right there, because I got mad respect for Ty. You know, I was recruiting him at my old school, one of my old schools, when he was in high school from Arizona State, and you know, you always saw the talent, and you always saw that. And then during the year, I think all of us have seen glimpses of him dominating. Right? You've seen stretches where he just decides like, hey, I'm better than everybody. And then I thought this last game, that was a performance that you look back and you say that was amazing what you did. You know what I mean, he's moving opposite ways and sees a screen throw on the other side, and he puts a foot in the ground and he runs over there and he chases stuff down. I mean, he's taking on double teams and he's splitting them like they're not even there. You know what I mean? I thought this last game really showed what Ty can do to Ty, you know, and he's probably one of the best players on the field, period, last game, and it was awesome to see. And so now with Ty, the trick is, how does he get himself back in that mode, you know, have that attitude where he is, you know, but it comes back to the practices, right? It always starts from the preparation, him knowing what to do, him going out there and practicing that all week, and then living up to what he can do, you know. So